Hello and welcome to Project 863, or to be more specific, welcome to the very first season recap of Project 863. Season 0 was filled with so many twists and turns, all circulating around mysterious keys, an old abandoned car, and the name Nilsson Cyphus, and a stalker that broke into our studio. It's what started our journey alongside Deb to stop Syntech. Now obviously I'm not going to go over every single day and every single detail, but I will show you the most important pieces. So here we go. Back in April of 2018, day 1 was a seemingly normal day. Hey there, cutie. Can you talk?
Say no.
You want to say some words? Team Ed shoot day today. Always fun. One that consisted of vlogging around Spellbound when it was then Hi-Fi Studios. You guys in the middle of filming right now?
No, we're just here for fun.
Hi YouTube. The way these buildings work is that they're just like giant warehouses, and then tenants like us come in and then customize it all. You know, these walls, like you can just like push down. I went back to investigate an already puzzling lead in the ceiling in Blue Base from a previous vlog. If I scrub through these frames, I feel like there's something right there. I found our first indication of the world we had jumped in.
It's a raccoon.
Oh, what the heck? Keys.
Keys?
Keys labeled with a very simple 863, and I hadn't even known yet what I stumbled into. Day 20. A little less than a month went by, business as usual. Brand new day at Hi-Fi Studios. Oh look, it's Mitch.
Morning.
What's happening?
Ready for some GG?
I'm ready for some GG. But on day 20, I made an interesting discovery in Orange Base. Previous tenants went out of business, but I remember they left over a bunch of stuff, and a lot of the stuff we threw away.
You know what? There was a file cabinet, bro.
Filing cabinet? I won't see up there. No? Alright. You guys seeing anything? Yo. Maybe. Jeez. Okay, so here's the thing. Do you recognize this at all?
This looks familiar.
A cabinet with no owner. After attempting to use the 863 key to open it, but to no avail. The 863 key does not go to this thing. I want to bust into this thing, but I'm gonna feel like trash if this happens to be someone. I put a pause on using force to get it open, just in case it really did belong to someone in the studio. If no one claims this, then Wrecked can go to town on it. We can see what's inside.
Down. I'm technically
You guys down?
I'll do some dirty work on that.
Day 37. So today is the first shoot day of Dope or No. Excited about that? A little nervous about that? A few more weeks went by, but on day 37, on the day of my very first Dope or No shoot, I decided to get some clarity on the filing cabinet. We gotta go around and ask to make sure it's not anyone's, right? Interrogate them, so to speak. Do you own a white filing cabinet?
Well, technically, I don't own it.
Ooh.
What does that mean? That's not the one we're asking about.
That's not the one. But she clearly likes filing cabinets.
Yeah. After managing to confirm that it didn't belong to anyone. No one owns the filing cabinet in Hi-Fi Studios, so it's gotta be from a previous owner. It was time to bust it open. You guys wanna bust it open, see what's inside?
Yeah. A baseball bat to it.
A baseball bat.
Good.
Oh, he broke the lock! Oh, busted out the lock! And inside was a small safe.
Wait, what the heck is this, dude?
Yo!
Whoa! Stop!
It's like a combination.
This is getting so deep. I love this.
With a sneaking suspicion in mind, I tried the code 863 on the safe.
863.
Oh! And it opened. Inside was another key, labeled TS5.
TS5?
Once again, no indication as to what it may be used for. But at this point, things were only going to get more intense as the world of 863 sucked us in further and further. For nearly 2 years, not even a peep from the world of 863 came up at the studio. I had no idea what the TS5 key could possibly go to, and life just continued on. But on day 665, it all came crashing back down on me. Woods voxed me.
Okay, so I found something dope that might pertain to your key blog.
Woods found a lock-making kit in an old desk in what was a new expansion to Red Base, a desk that belonged to old tenants. When inspecting the kit, I found some QR codes inside of it, ones that we were able to translate into what seemed like random directions. Puzzled, the only way to see what it seemed to be leading to was to retrace my steps back to where the desk was found and follow the directions from there. The directions led us upstairs in a newly renovated space, right into a wall.
Oh, okay. Maybe not with your hand.
Maybe.
You gotta hit here. Oh! A perfect square!
After breaking it open, we found a red safe sitting on one of the studs, and wouldn't you know, 863 worked. Inside was a plethora of keys, all with different numbers, writings, shapes, and colors.
I'm overwhelmed.
This was by far the biggest discovery in the studio that we'd made by then. But it would be some time before the team started investigating what these keys actually went to. Day 826. Day 826 was when we really dug into the red box, looking to see if we recognized any of the numbers or keys it contained.
Part of me just really wants to look through them all.
What key looks like no other key?
And while the 7-Eleven key provided some fun levity and the excuse to grab some Slurpees on a warm summer day,
Cherry!
another key piqued my interest. One with a red tag that had the number 155 and the word mountaineer written on the back.
Mercury Mountaineer.
Mercury Mountaineer, what does it look like?
It's a car.
I've seen that car here at the studio. I'm just saying. I definitely
Where?
have seen a
Where?
car that looks like that at the studio.
You're
I'm not even
lying.
kidding. I'm not even
Where?
kidding. I'm not saying it's a part of this, but I definitely have.
No, you haven't.
I swear to God.
After it was mentioned that the Mercury Mountaineer car had been driving around the studio before, we all investigated around the building to see if we could find anything suspicious. And then, there it was, sitting in an adjacent parking lot, all alone. The beat-up, red Mercury Mountaineer.
There's literally not license plates on it.
We were suspicious of it at first, and may have tripped the alarm a few times, but two things became clear instantly. One, the car opened to the code 155, and two, the key that we had started the ignition.
Stop, dude, stop. Stop, bro. Stop!
This somehow had a connection to 863, and we seemingly had the only key to it. Or so we thought. Day 828. On day 828, something truly creepy occurred. I caught the Mountaineer driving behind Red Base on the Nest camera almost a month before on August 22nd.
Yo!
The car drove in the back parking lot before retracing and driving back the way it came.
Do we have a clear enough shot? Hold on. Do we have a clear enough shot to see who's inside this thing?
We unfortunately weren't able to see the identity of who was in the car, but it did provide an interesting fact. There was a second key to the car, and whomever had the second key had moved it recently. But for what reason? I wasn't too sure. Day 838. When day 838 came around, it did seem business as usual.
What we're gonna be doing later today is more Megadeth stuff.
I was working on Megadesk, but I had it with the poor air conditioning in the room. I went to go check on the vent in the ceiling, expecting some form of blockage, and I did find one, but not in the way I expected.
That was just sitting on top of it?
What is
What is it?
Sitting inside was an old-looking gun safe, scratches, dents, and dust all over it. We tested the fingerprint lock on a few people in the office, but ultimately left it alone for the time being, purely due to not having a way to open it yet. Day 848 came around, and it was all about the Mountaineer once again. I was determined to find the VIN number on the car in order to see if I could link it up at the DMV to anyone specific, trying to get answers from as many people as I could. The VIN number on the inside of the door was scratched up.
What do you do now? Like, I'm actually lost.
There was something else that I found in the sunshade, a note. One that had a username and password on it, the former being the word Cyphus, which matched the words carved into the safe found in the ceiling. What these went to it was unclear at that moment, but there was a new problem that arose. On day 849, while we didn't discover anything, it was the day that we learned we could officially claim ownership of the Mountaineer.
So we can claim it once they tow it. And when we claim it, it will be legally ours.
That meant any liabilities that the car had now would belong to us.
We're gonna claim the abandoned car.
How are you gonna claim it?
Because we just went to the DMV.
But it was a worthy risk in order to further uncover what was going on at the studio. But on day 871, things became a little too real for my liking. A masked assailant showed up at Blue Base in the evening, attempting to open the door and left frustrated.
So clearly someone tried to use a key fob that has a number that's not in our system.
It was such a surreal experience.
This is probably, honestly, the creepiest thing that's happened.
And it brought it all into perspective very quickly. Whatever we were uncovering, more than likely dangerous people were waiting around the corner.
I'm just looking for something to quell my discomfort.
But the incident was forgotten momentarily, as on day 876, we were drawn back to the safe we found in the ceiling. While carrying it around the stairs, Samantha accidentally dropped it.
Oh my gosh, are you okay?
Cracking the safe and breaking off a section of it. That's when it started leaking what seemed to be water out of it. Which just brought up more questions as to exactly what was inside it. We tried to open it, but to no avail. But even when it seemed like we had reached a dead end, the liquid that spilled out spontaneously combusted on the floor.
Don't touch it, don't touch it. You're just laying.
Wait, move away from it.
I just put the rag on to clean it and it lit up.
A mere 2 days later, on day 878,
Can you come to the studio? Something happened. I literally don't think you'll believe me if I just say it.
You're not gonna believe me if I say it.
things took a turn for the bizarre. After leaving the safe safely upstairs in Samantha's office, whatever was still spilling out of it pooled into the plastic container that we put it in, and then burned a huge hole all the way down to the first floor.
Wait, what? Oh my gosh!
You can see it all the way
You're
through.
kidding me right now.
It was such an odd event that even now, it almost seems that it was impossible. Whatever was in the safe was extremely dangerous. However, the incident just made the curiosity of what was in there burn even more. No pun intended. On day 882, I finally saw a conclusion of sorts. The assailant that tried to break in before managed to actually break into Blue Base, only 11 days after trying it the first time.
He immediately just starts going through things.
What is in those drawers? However, it wasn't brute force that he used to get in, but a company key fob. To where he found this, I wasn't entirely sure, but the helplessness of watching this back on the Nest Cam footage really started to hit me as I watched him roaming around my studio.
You just go straight for your office. Oh, he's banging it. Yo, yo, yo.
How did he get it?
I just hear rummaging. Does he have a gun?
Oh! As to what he may have done was unclear, but I knew that there was only one thing creepy enough for this guy to be interested in that was in Samantha's office: the safe. And thanks to the break-in, it was now open for us to see what was inside.
So the safe is still here.
It's open.
Not able to wait, I headed upstairs with everyone to check the safe, and I was shocked to find what was inside: a large syringe with a very scary looking needle.
I'm definitely not touching this
That's
without
what
gloves.
broke.
And what was even more confusing was that the syringe itself didn't look like it was even in the safe in the first place.
He brought this and left it.
But inside, a broken vial along with spaces for 2 more vials beside it looked to take up residence in the safe.
This was the stuff that when you dropped the safe, that's probably what happened.
Yeah.
And then it just ate through all the way down in there and then leaked out the bottom of the safe and then did that.
Now we knew some kind of liquid is what seeped out of the safe and through our floor and ceiling.
What is in that?
But the reason as to why someone might have injected this into their body baffled us. What seemed to be the icing on the top of this creepy cake was the logo on the syringe and the vials. Snakes contorted into circles. Whomever was profiting off of this was more than likely dangerous. After waiting for almost a month, on day 909, we honed our attention back to the Mountaineer.
We got the car.
Really?
We got the car. They just let me buy it. We found an abandoned car. It got towed. We gotta go pick it up from the tow yard now.
After paying for the car, we began the long journey of driving the beat up thing from the tow yard back to the studio.
Whoa, 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 do you hear that? It's overheating. We're not even that far, dude. We're so close.
We may have had a little trouble along the way, but we made it back in one piece, and we were determined to look through this car, hoping for answers. The very next day, day 910, the time had come.
Everyone needs to back up! We're looking for anything that might give us clues as to Cyphus.
We gathered as many tools as we needed, suited up, and started going through the old and disgusting Mountaineer.
This is so gross. What is this? What's happening? What's happening? The person knew they were going to be messy.
And to say we found plenty of evidence to give us the creeps was an understatement. This car was as terrifying as it was gross.
Oh, creepy.
Obviously.
Is this really that surprising?
Children's toys, documents, dried bloodstains, and a police radio were only a few things we managed to come across.
Is it radio? It just looks like a radio.
Even more disconcerting, what looked like a schedule for people at the studio was also found among the growing pile of stuff.
Someone's tracking me. Someone's actually tracking me.
Once back in the safety of the studio with the car locked up, we went through everything a little bit more closely, but that was only what seemed to fill us with more dread, especially when it came to the studio blueprints and the schedules about the people at the studio. All of it just seemed to be hitting a little too close to home. A few days later, on day 912, we received our first threat from the dark void that seemed to be following us.
Please tell me you're on your way. I'm here now, and
Stress me out.
Well, it looks like the car's totaled. You just gotta get here. I think we're in over our heads a little bit.
I'd left the Mountaineer outside overnight, and that was more than enough time for someone to come, smash it to pieces,
Matt.
That's a threat.
He didn't slash
Okay,
the tires.
this the police have to take seriously.
And leave spray paint and an extremely haunting strike 1 on the side of it.
Why would you?
It feels like this whole thing, beating up the car, is like an act. I had a sneaking suspicion that whomever broke into Blue Base was ultimately behind it, but I went back to check the Nest cams in order to get a definitive answer. Unfortunately, the cameras didn't catch whomever did this, and so we were left guessing.
I'm laughing because I'm angry. You ever laugh the anger away? Just me? Cool. That was actually a waste.
Oh man. There's gotta be something else. It felt like that was all we were able to keep doing.
Have we ever even considered for a second that he might not have been looking for something, but he might have been planting something?
However, our task wasn't done yet. After going back to the car, I suited up once again to take a peek inside and see if anything had really changed since we had searched it a few days before.
There's something in it.
What does it feel like? Is it just like a bar?
Literally inside the seat.
Is it the seat?
Yeah, is it just like the
seat
bars
itself?
or something? What does it feel like?
Feels like it shouldn't belong. And this seat, it's like right there in the center. I can feel it.
I made another discovery hidden in one of the seats. A black journal.
Here it is.
Here it is. Oh.
It was completely blank, but the snake logo was once again present, etched into the leather flaps.
Yeah.
This was on the vials.
The case just gets more unsettling.
But it was an otherwise dead end, and it wasn't clear as to who this belonged to, even though we had some ideas at the time. Day 933 came, and it seemed like it was going to be a very normal day.
You guys have been sending fan mail and letters and packages.
We even intended to open up some fan mail and give some love back to our audience that had stuck with us through all of this madness.
Oh, look at that. We got some fan art.
Ooh.
My name is Jaden. There's a ghost above me.
But it never gets easy, does it? As we opened package after package, one was already oddly addressed both to us and from the studio.
It was shipped from our address to our address.
Are we just not reading that label right? I don't even know who this is for or what it is. I'm just wondering if it's not actually fan mail.
We should have taken this as the first hint that something was wrong, but as we opened it up, it just became apparent that it was either a sick joke or the world of 863 was back at it again.
Are we No. What is it?
It honestly caught all of us completely off guard.
Wait, don't touch it.
Okay.
But curiosity seemed to override our anxiety at the moment, and we had decided to try and find the key to open it. None of the keys in the red case were fruitful in our endeavor, and the box that it came in did not contain a key, but it did contain a letter.
It's not addressed, like even the letter.
It's just a small little note.
What does it say?
That's it. There's nothing else in there.
What? What does it say?
One that said, "You should already have the key, signed D." And then it clicked for me. There was only one key I hadn't tried yet.
The TS5 key.
From the mini safe?
From the
like
mini
forever
safe.
ago?
Forever ago.
After asking a few people around the office if they had seen the safe before, we headed upstairs to look for the one key that was on my mind that might unlock it, the TS5 key from the mini safe 2 full years ago. After a truly exhaustive search through all the bases, we honed in on a desk that was taken away from my old office and placed in what would soon be the vault.
What is all this stuff? Straight up, what is this?
And inside one of the drawers, we found the key we had been searching for.
Yes! TS5!
This is it.
It's in.
Here's the thing. If this thing turns, can we just make a mental note that I've had this key for years?
Yes.
So this safe has to have existed for years.
And it worked. The sinking feeling that this indeed wasn't a prank was hitting us all.
What is that?
It's a circuit board.
This was the key that I had found 2 years ago, which meant that there was a huge possibility that someone had waited for us to make more discoveries before sending it to us. But who D was and what their intentions were still a mystery. However, there was one more mystery to solve. What were the binoculars capturing? After gathering everyone and moving into the conference room, I inserted the SD card and watched each file one by one.
Oh my gosh.
That is fully me leaving from work.
finding video of someone filming us, leaving, entering, and working at the studio.
Oh my god, I hate this.
To what purpose, I wasn't sure, but there was one file that was corrupted, and I was determined to fix it. I successfully found a program, but it's set to run overnight. Cut to day 939, where I was finally able to repair the file from the binocular SD card that we found and settle down with the team to watch and see what it was.
They're running.
That's
Did he get inside?
Stop. No, stop.
Wait,
How do
go
you
back,
tell
go
it's
back, go
orange
back.
base?
And it looked like our friend, which we dubbed the Stalker, once again made an appearance, breaking into Orange Base and walking around inside. He was upstairs in Orange Base.
That looks like nothing.
That is the balcony.
He had a case.
He came in with the case.
He came in and he left with the case.
Yeah.
He seemed to be carrying around a black case, after realizing the upstairs Nest camera was another one that only had a live feed. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. And didn't record. We headed over to Orange Base, although we knew there was very little we could do, considering the incident happened months ago. The very next day, day 940, we were determined to find out why the Stalker may have been spying on us. I want to look at where he was stalking from.
With the binocular footage.
As well as to see how close he was when he took those videos.
She comes out and he follows her here, but we don't see her full car over here.
I can literally get almost an identical shot from way over here, maybe if this car wasn't here. We also tested how easy it would have been for him to sneak behind Samantha and into the building. Easily, I had way more time.
Hear that?
Door hangs open for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't shut all the way.
What?
Oh. But as we were finishing, Kevin alerted us to motion detected in Red Base from a while ago, and we immediately moved into the position to check the cameras in Red Base. And of course, our friend, the Stalker, managed to get inside, this time, once again, with a key fob. I noticed that he came through this area right here.
The back warehouse door?
The back warehouse door. I can't remember where it was exactly, but there we go. You see that? You see that?
Oh, stop.
Red Base. But look, I want to show you something more specifically. You see that? You see right here?
The door's cracked?
No, the door's not cracked. Light's bleeding in through the edge because it's like the sunset, right?
Yeah.
But he's hanging out there for a while.
Yeah.
And this could be some sort of indication of how he initially gets in.
What if
So
he's
he
like jamming
does-
the door?
But he does get in. He gets in to Red Base. He was still carrying around this black case. However, oddly enough, he disappeared near the renovated stairs in the warehouse for an hour before leaving without the case, which meant whatever he was carrying was down there for us to investigate. He left it. He walks out without the case. Wait, he left the case? We wasted no time heading over to Red Base warehouse to check to see if we could find what he left behind. Someone broke in with something and left it in Red Base. We made a pretty good guess as to where he would have had to have been before checking the stairs themselves and finding our answer rather quickly.
Oh.
Dude, that is not coming off. Oh my gosh.
What?
There's something in there.
What is
There's
it?
something in there. Under one of the stairs, there was indeed a case labeled property of LAPD, and it was wired even further under the stairs itself. While the discovery itself was an uneasy one, one of those I'm assuming is a power cable, we still needed to find out what was inside, but we were blocked by a lock code. Day 952 comes along, and we decided to investigate further. We checked around the other blind spots in Red Base and theorized why the Stalker might have left a case like that inside the studio in the first place. However, when checking near the safe again, I made a horrifying discovery. There's a hidden camera peeking out from under the stairs.
Couldn't we also put something like up above the back door? Because you could even attach it to that.
This meant that he could have very easily heard everything we were saying, staying one step ahead of us the entire time. I have absolutely no idea if that's not the only camera inside our studio, inside multiple studios. He's been in Orange Base, he's been in Blue Base.
He's been all over Blue
He's been
Base.
all over, and that's just that we know of. But we decided to use this against him and set a trap to lure him here so we could stake out and get a good look at who might be tormenting us. It's gonna be a long night. Later that night, we prepared ourselves. Best case scenario is that he actually breaks in somehow. It's filmed. We're at a safe distance. One of us maybe stakes out on the roof while the other ones are in the car. Woods headed up into the roof to get a more dynamic look.
On the roof, it's dark and scary.
And Samantha and I stayed in the van, ready to spring into action at any point. You nervous?
Yeah.
My heart is beating so fast right now.
Wait, say that one more time.
He straight up said he's here.
And the stalker does indeed show up.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Right behind Red Base before sprinting off into the bushes and disappearing from sight. With communication with Woods completely cut off and the assailant in sight, Samantha and I are left circling the parking lot to try and see if we can catch a glimpse of him.
Are you kidding me? He just disappeared?
But as we circle around where Woods was again, it becomes clear where he disappeared to. The door to Red Base warehouse is open.
How is that even possible? Are you kidding me? There's no way. There's no way. It's gone.
And the Mountaineer was gone. Even later that night, I decided to ingest the footage from the camera. Woods had to see if he had caught a glimpse as to what had happened.
Oh my god. He's here. He's here. He's here. He's here. Oh my god, no. Oh my god. No. Oh my god. What are you doing? What?
Using the key to sneak into the building, open the garage door, and drive the Mountaineer out before the van had a chance to even come around again.
You're kidding me.
He had a fob.
We deactivated that!
I can't believe he did that, dude.
However, not all was lost as I'd placed a tracker on the car beforehand and was already able to see exactly where the guy was going. On the very next day, day 953, I decided that we would be tracking the car to whatever location it currently was in.
Take some turns up on San Francisco Road, which isn't crazy too far from us, and then he just keeps going.
It wasn't that far out, down a relatively barren road called San Francisco Canyon, just outside of town. I headed there with CJ and Woods, investigating two possible places that the car would be in.
There's like a small little cliff here. We check around the bend over there, but this is for sure an abandoned road. This goes for what, like a mile or two?
Once we arrived at the second location, Woods started up the drone and took her down to see if we could spot the Mountaineer by the abandoned structure.
That's just like the Google Maps version.
That's not good. What?
It's right there.
No, stop.
Look.
Which we did. However, once we got down there to see if anyone was around.
And you're thinking about maybe Strike 2's coming?
Well, I'm thinking we don't live to see a Strike 2.
I got a concerning message from Kevin.
So I just checked the key fob registry and the key was registered to Woods. It's Woods, dude. It's Woods.
It had been Woods' key fob that was used to break into the studio.
Let's go. I'm not taking the car. Let's go.
What? What's wrong? What's wrong?
I immediately wanted to leave the car, suddenly concerned that there was something fishy going on.
I don't even care.
Why are we leaving right now?
Just leave the car. I don't even care. There's nothing in there that I care about.
And while it would have been a stretch that Woods had been doing this all along, something wasn't adding up.
You've been here before.
Yeah, I've been here before. Told you. Like in high school. What do you think is happening right here?
So I headed back to the studio, determined to leave the car and get it some other time. Once there, we retraced his steps from the night before to see if he possibly left anything behind that we could use.
So he just runs through here.
It almost seemed like there was two of them. Like he ran into the bushes, stopped, and then there was another
trash.
one. What?
This is not trash. This is a handheld RFID writer. I don't know what it stands for, but I know what it does.
What does it do?
It makes fobs.
And we found an RFID scanner, something he easily could have used to copy a fob. So Woods is safe, for now. On day 973, we decided we'd take the advice we got from Reddit and use the code 015 to open up the case.
Open.
Oh! To our delight, it worked.
Do you not hear that? The minute I opened this up, I started hearing it.
But that quickly melted into horror as we saw exactly what was inside. What looks like a bomb with a computer, modem, and phone.
That is the sketchiest GSM coma.
What does that mean?
However, after further research, we realized it's a cell phone interceptor, and immediately pieces started to fall into place.
I said we call the police and see if it intercepts.
So is this why no one's gotten back to us from the LAPD?
Yeah, because we never actually got a hold of them.
You think that this is like stopping our phone calls to
like
the police?
rerouting them to someone else.
What else can it be?
It explains why none of our calls had been going through to the police. For good measure, I snapped the wire, connecting the hidden camera.
Isn't that like an actual miniature digital camera?
I think that is a mic, if I'm not mistaken. With this information in mind, we decided to test the interceptor to see what happened. You know what? I'm sorry, wrong number. The call did indeed get reconnected, but the voice on the other end isn't anyone that seems to be a part of LAPD.
So who you were just talking to was not
No,
who we've been trying to get in contact with?
no, it was not.
That's the person who owns this briefcase, might be safest since he put it in here. That's the person who wants to hear our calls.
So I decided to call that number back again, catching the voice of what I believe to be our stalker again, which only proves once again that all along this is being planned out by someone else. He answered.
It was the same voice.
It was the same voice. Block that number. Someone that we're standing in the way of. And that, my friends, is Season 0 of Project 863. If you're trying to get caught up, click here to continue to Season 1. Until then, be curious.